right now, I want to welcome to the program the Sheriff of Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, Sheriff David Clarke. Sheriff, thank you, sir, for your time.
It's my pleasure.
It's great talking to you again. And, let's talk, generally speaking, about crime in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Milwaukee County. How are things right now, Sheriff?
Not good at all. And I think most major urban centers across America are facing the same thing. The city of Chicago has received national attention for the crime and violence going on there. In a 30-day period of time here in Milwaukee County, there have been like 33 homicides in that time frame, numerous shootings, multiple shootings in residential neighborhoods. And, this thing goes on a daily basis, maybe not to the extent of the spike that we're experiencing right now, but it goes on more subtly, and so it doesn't really get talked about other than by, myself and other people who are into giving people more freedom to be able to defend themselves. So, that's kind of just a snapshot of what's going on. The mayor of Milwaukee, the city of Milwaukee, Tom Barrett, he's clueless about what to do. The police chief is he's kind of clueless as well. He's kind of raised the white flag, and at one point in an interview said, "What we're doing is not working. We got to go back, to the chalkboard, so to speak." And so, it's been a real uphill battle for me. I'm into individual freedom. I'm into people taking control of their lives. The founders meant for citizens, for people to control their lives and not the government. And so that's kind of what I'm up against in my quest to give the people of Milwaukee County as many options as they can have to protect themselves, to protect their families, to exercise their constitutional freedoms. I sat by earlier this year, and I saw some of the things going on in the city of Milwaukee, and I got tired of watching this assault, this harassment of law-abiding gun owners, citizen gun owners, by gun control and anti-Second Amendment groups. Government doesn't trust its people to take control of their own lives. Well, I do. And, as I said, the founders meant for people to be in control, not the government. The Second Amendment, Cam, is the only amendment that makes the protection of the rest of the Bill of Rights possible, because it keeps government tyranny in check. And I'll ask you, and I'll just ask you rhetorically, not looking for an answer, but I'll ask your listeners to ask themselves this: what other right in the Bill of Rights do we allow government to make us jump through hoops in order to exercise? We don't have background checks to exercise your First Amendment free speech rights. We don't have order background checks for you to be secure in your persons, places, and things from unreasonable searches by the government. We don't make you go through a background check to get a lawyer when you've been accused by the government of some crime, and I can go on and on with the other Bill of Rights. Mm-hmm. Nowhere else do we do that. Only the Second Amendment, only the right to keep and bear arms do we do this.
Well, let me ask you this, Sheriff. Look, obviously the gun control advocates say, well, we need these sorts of things in order to reduce violent crime. As a law enforcement officer, you're saying that there are other areas we should be focusing on, as opposed to additional gun control.
Right, and that's their standard talking point. And I've heard them all. You've heard them all too.
Yeah.
That's it's. I don't blame the gun. Okay. It's the person behind the gun that I'm more concerned with than the instrumentality, because there are millions of law-abiding gun owners in the United States that do not use that device to settle disputes, to take property from people, the kind of activities and behaviors that we see career criminals engage in. So if millions of law-abiding gun owners possess weapons, keep and bear arms, and do not commit mayhem and murder and everything else, and just a small sample of the population who happens to have that instrumentality does it, then that tells me the problem isn't the gun, the problem is the person behind the gun. But I say this to those individuals as well that say that, well, we need this to keep crime and violence in check. My Second Amendment right is inalienable. That means it's sacrosanct. That means it's non-negotiable. That means it's non-transferable. That means they cannot take that away from me, nor can the Congress, nor can state legislatures. Now, over time, they have done that. They've instituted all these hoops that we have to jump through to keep and bear arms. Background checks, waiting periods, getting a license in order to carry a concealed weapon, all those things. And most law-abiding gun owners, we're reasonable people. And we say, because we have these crooks out there who are going to do these things, and so, we'll put a few safeguards in. But there's a different agenda, Cam, as you know, that's really at play here. And it has nothing to do with safety, but it has everything to do with dismantling the Second Amendment, with dismantling people's God-given right to keep and bear arms. And I want to warn people that once that right is taken away, none of the other 9 rights under the Bill of Rights or amendments under the Bill of Rights is going to be possible. So that's the thing that we have to focus on, and that's the thing that we have to be worried about.
Talking with Sheriff David Clarke from Milwaukee County, Wisconsin. Now, Sheriff, I want to share a PSA that you did earlier this year. Then I want to talk real quick about the concealed carry courses that the Sheriff's Office is putting on. But take a listen to this public service announcement running in Milwaukee County.
I'm Sheriff David Clarke, and I want to talk to you about something personal, your safety. It's no longer a spectator sport. I need you in the game. But are you ready? With officers laid off and furloughed, simply calling 911 and waiting is no longer your best option. You can beg for mercy from a violent criminal, hide under the bed, or you can fight back. But are you prepared? Consider taking a certified safety course in handling a firearm so you can defend yourself until we get there. You have a duty to protect yourself and your family. We're partners now. Can I count on you?
This safety message brought to you by the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office.
And again, you're not just talking here, the Sheriff's Office, as I said, putting on these free concealed carry courses, one at Kachansky's Concertina Beer Hall, where Andy Kachansky defended himself against some armed robbers recently. What has the response been, Sheriff, in about 60 seconds because we're running out of time, but what has the response from the people of Milwaukee County been to these courses?
Well, it's overwhelming, and actually it's Wisconsin Terry, a group headed by Nick Clarke that has done this. So we're helping him promote that sort of thing because it's gun safety. And as you know, with rights come responsibilities. And my message was, hey, there's a proper way to handle this device. There's a responsible way. And so in order to get a concealed carry permit in the state of Wisconsin, you have to go through and pass one of these courses to do that. Over 170,000 people have applied for and received a concealed carry license in the state of Wisconsin. And it's only been in effect for about 2 years. So you can see it's a growing number. People understand. See, law-abiding gun owners understand. Hey, there's a responsibility to this. I need to know how to handle and use it safely, accurately, so on and so forth. So these are patriots that showed up on Sunday, and we're going to see this thing continue to grow because people are now saying to the government, get out of the way. I'm in control. I make the decisions, and I'm here to support them.
Well, listen, Sheriff, we support you as well. Thank you so much for coming on the program. It's great talking to you, and hope we can have you back again soon.
It's always my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Sheriff David Clarke joined us, the Sheriff of Milwaukee County, Wisconsin.